This evening we are going to do the revision of to doji ni and doji ni, and then do a new topic on judging things by their appearance. So using descriptors to say it seems like, it looks like, or I heard that something. Okay, let's do some revision first. So let me just grab the slides from last week. I'll just have a quick reminder of the rules of to doji ni. So just a quick refresher. With doji ni, we can use this without the subjects being the same. The way we do this for a verb and for a noun, in fact, in all cases, I should say that we should mark the timing, which verb or which action or which noun marks the timing of the sentence. So at the same time that I was singing, I was also thinking about spree killing, for example. Then you'd say at the time of singing. So this is the verb that goes here. And then this is kept in the casual and present or negative tense. So the plain negative tense or the plain present tense. And then to doji ni, and then verb be, the second verb. And this is the one which tells you when this happened, if it happened in the past, or if it's going to happen in the future. Same thing with nouns, really. You don't need this de aru. You can put it in if you want to. It doesn't really make any difference. But it's the noun plus to doji ni. And then na adjectives, we just have to remember this is an exceptional case. Na adjectives are plus de aru to doji ni. Okay, let's try and keep our minds on this because you will be tested on this later this evening. De aru to doji ni. I haven't put it in here, but you can also have e adjectives and then to doji ni if you so wish. The last thing to say is if you omit the o before doji ni, this means that the thing in the first subclause and the main verb are contrary expectations. So like an opposition of expectations. So for example, as I've said here, a strong while strangely fragile person. These are two conflicting descriptions of somebody. So here we wouldn't use to doji ni, but just simply doji ni. Okay. Any questions, guys, before we do some exercises? Alles gut, alles klar? Yeah? Sehr gut. Okay, let's get some exercises then. Let me just rearrange all the page because there's so many of you this evening. Over there. Pick you guys up and put you over here. I think that's everybody. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yes. Okay. Let's move this down here. So let's start with Jock. You're at the top. The moment the earthquake occurred, the car exploded. It was very scary.
I did this one last week, but
did you want to do a different one then? You sure? Let's do a different one, Jock. Otherwise, you end up just working on the same one. It was strange, but while my stomach was aching, I still wanted to eat something.
Okay. Okashi kerido.
So at this point here, sorry, Jock, just if I can interrupt. This is basically a little subclause by itself. It was strange. So as this is in the past tense, you would say not just okashi, but
okashi datta.
Okashikatta. This is an e adjective, isn't it? Okashikatta desu. Yeah.
Onaka ga ita. Itai to doji ni.
Good. Itai onaka ga itai to doji ni. Yeah.
何か食べたかった。
nanika. And then with nanika, that we can think of this as being a single word meaning something. So we still need o after it, actually.
Ah.
Nanika o. If you omit or, it doesn't really matter in casual conversation, actually. But to be formally correct, it will be nanika o. As you said, tabetakatta desu.
But can I ask you, Andy, isn't this the third case that you said? Because
Exactly.
your stomach aching, so the to dojini just becomes dojini.
Exactly this. Yeah, exactly this. Onaka ga itai doji ni nanika o tabetakatta desu. Yeah, exactly. So in this, because we are using this kind of opposing expectation form, we don't need to worry about this still. This still doesn't mean ongoing. It means even though, doesn't it, in this sentence?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's not meant to mean the continuation of something. It's meant to mean even though, contrary to expectations. So this still is also included in this doji ni. We don't need to worry. We don't need to put in mada or anything like this here. Like we don't have to say mada nanika or tabetakatta. It's already in, its meaning is different anyway, and it's included in the meaning by removing the to before doji ni. So this is perfect.
And there's no way to use noni in there.
Well, noni would be, we could use noni instead of doji ni.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's absolutely, we can absolutely use this. Onaka ga itai no ni nanika o tabetakatta desu. So in this case, noni and dojini are in what's the word? Interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, it's just another way of using dojini, really. Yeah. Okay, good. Thanks, John. Let's just read this again. So, okashikatta desu ka? Onaka ga itai doji ni nanika o tabetakatta desu. If I can ask you to read that, please, John.
Okashikatta desu ga, onaka ga itai doji ni nanika o tabetakatta desu.
Perfect. And if you can all unmute yourselves, guys, and please read it.
おかしかっ
あ
た
お疲れ様ですか痛い同時に
痛い同時に
を食べたかったです。
食べたかったです。
Excellent. Good. Kelly, do you want to do this first one? The moment the earthquake occurred, the car exploded. It was very scary.
はい。地震と同時に
Yeah.
車が、exploded, is it 爆発?
Hatsu, yeah, exactly this. Hatsu.
爆発しました。
Very good.
怖かった?
Yep. Kowakatta desu. And how would we use this superlative very in this?
めっちゃ?
Oh, mecha. Okay, good. Let's use this mecha.
Can you use mecha when you speak to someone you know, or is it when to someone you don't really know that good, or is it more how you say it? Can you use mecha between friends or or when you speak to everyone?
Definitely between friends.
Okay.
It's a relatively new, newly introduced word. It comes from mechakcha, which was used by everybody, which kind of means chaotically, mechakcha. And then I think from Osaka, or Kansai district anyway, it's now become this kind of thing to mean like very. So when I was living there, instead of totemo or instead of mecha, people used, or young people used cho, like nagai, this word nagai, cho. But it's kind of like street teenage kind of speak. So if I used it to my colleagues, they would kind of go like that. I don't know if I don't think it's been kind of fully accepted by the older generation. So I think if I would be personally a little bit careful about using it with senseis, for example.
Okay.
I think I would still carry on using totemo or taihen. Yeah.
Hi.
But it's, I mean, as you've probably heard from, if any of you watch Miku Sensei, she talks about using mecha instead of totemo, because totemo is quite formal. But generally, most of her lessons are about having casual conversations. So I don't think she's doing her lessons with the expectation that her student's going to speak to 8th-dan handsheets or anything like this.
Okay,
Yeah.
so best to use totemo.
Yeah, but as we're doing a little bit of focus on vocabulary as well, so we've got totemo, we've got mecha. What else could we use in this case? What other superlatives have we got?
Hontoni.
Hontoni, good, yeah, really. Hontoni. Taihen. Taihen. This can be used both as a na adjective and also as a superlative. Anything else?
We use shojiki.
One more time, Wayne.
Shojiki.
Shojiki ni.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this means kind of honestly. So if you're talking about this sentence here, where you're saying it was shojiki ni kawakatta desu, then you can use it in this case. But this would mean this is basically explaining your experience of it. So you couldn't use this all the time for say to express somebody else's experience of something or something which is quite objective. Yeah. We could also use sugoku. 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 I'll get it right in a second. Sugoku. So I think, as you said, Kelly, totemo is probably the most formal in these. So it's a safe one to use, but I guess it can be a little bit exhausting if you're using it with your friends. Yeah. Okay, I'll leave that up there for a second. Tom, excuse me, but I will be able to see the chair the moment you switch the light on.
I'm busy. I got sumimasen ga.
Sumimasen ga.
Denki o
Denki o
tsukeru
tsukeru.
to doji ni
Good. Doji ni.
Izu. Izu ni? Izuga.
Izuga. Yeah, exactly.
Izuga. It's not the direction of the chair, it's the chair.
Yeah, exactly.
Miraremasu.
Miraremasu. Good. Cool. Sorry, sumimasen ga denki o tsukeru to doji ni isu ga miraremasu. Can you repeat it one more time, please, Tom?
Sumimasen ga denki o tsukeru to doji ni isu ga miraremasu.
Very good. Incidentally, guys, just for your vocabulary study, denki is electricity when it's read with a certain kanji, and denki also means light when read with a different kanji. So if I just quickly chuck this up on the screen. Denki. This means electric energy or electric steam or electric breath. It's the same key that you talk about when you talk about chi and, you know, kiken tai chi and that kind of jibber jabber. And then denki, this one, this one, not that one, this one. This is light, but actually means electric appliance, really. But it's used to mean light.
Shin.
Yeah, yeah. So when you say denki or tsukeru, this can mean both turn on the electricity or turn on the light. Yeah. Okay. Can you all read this together, please? Dozo.
Sumimasen ga denki o tsukeru to doji ni isu ga miraremasu.
Cool. Luke, I know that you weren't here last week. Do you want to have a try of this, huh? With your current vocabulary skills?
Kin no tsukarete.
Tsukarete. Yep.
To doji ni.
Actually, the two things which are happening are falling asleep and head touching the pillow.
Oh, the streams down. Tsukarete. To.
You can just skarete. The te at the end is itself a connector, so you don't need to have.
Fell asleep. It's not
Let me help you a bit first.
nemas.
Let me help you here first, Luke. So the thing what we have to look for is the event or the noun or the adjective on which the timing is being set. So in this sentence, it's the moment my head touched the pillow is actually the timing setter. So this is the thing we need to put todoji ni onto. So we make this bit first.
Atama.
Yep.
Atama ga. Pillow.
It's makura.
Makura. Touch is
you may not know this. It's quite a. It's sawaru. Sawaru.
Sawaru.
Yeah, sawaru. You can use sawaru, ataru. If you want to say when my head smashed into the pillow, you could use butsu or butsukaru. Sawaru means touch or make contact.
Atama ga makura o sawaru to doji ni.
Good.
Nemas.
Go on, do it. Do it. Do it.
Nemas. False.
It's in the past, so.
Nemashita.
Nemashita. Good. Yes. 昨日疲れて頭が真っ暗を触ると同時に寝ました。Very good. Can you say it one more time, please?
昨日疲れて頭が真っ暗を触ると同時に寝ました。
Very good. Very good. So I was extremely tired. There's actually almost a single Japanese word which is reserved for this word extremely. Do you know it? Anybody?
Extremely.
Shindoi?
So shindoi means tired, but how do you say extremely?
Hijo?
Hijoni. Very good. Hijoni. Which kind of means unusually, extremely. Hijoni. Tsukarete. Okay, guys, can you all read it together, please?
Hijoni.
昨日非常に疲れて頭が真っ暗を触ると同時に寝ました。
Very good.
Can I just ask?
Yep.
Neru. It's sleeping, and falling asleep is the same verb.
So somebody told me the other day that there's something you say which is ne irimashita, to actually enter into that state of sleep. But if you said nemashita, this is fine. This means I slept. So I think it was ne irimashita. If you go into your dictionaries, guys, and put in ne iru, then you might actually say it. Yeah, ne iru is the second one, meaning to enter sleep.
First stage of sleep.
Yeah. Cool, good. Louise, at the very moment that the head referee calls decision, all three referees must lift their flags. We have to follow this rule.
So, head referee, what was that again?
This was Shimpan Shunin. Yeah. I'm sorry, I think it's Shunin, isn't it? With one U.
I thought one
U.
One U, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. 1 second, please. Hello.
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 I can hear you.
Yes, yes, I know. No, I'm talking to the other program. I was trying to. I'm trying to use the AEDICT browser version
Okay.
to get to call, but it somehow doesn't want to give me new vocabulary.
So if you ask David, I think he'll tell you what the word is to announce, which is the word we're looking for. Announce. David, do you remember it from the other day? Wasn't it senkoku or something?
Senkoku suru.
Senkoku suru. Thank you.
Okay, 審判就任wa. And then we have to yes. Then we have to put hante into.
Good. Hante into quotes.
Hante senkoku o shimasu.
Senkoku suru.
Suru.
Yeah.
Todojini.
Very good. Todojini.
Zenbu.
So we'd say zenin if we're talking about people.
Zenin, so like all.
All people. Yeah.
Okay. Sannin shinpan.
You can have zenin or sannin, but you can't have zenin sannin. That's all people, 3 people.
Okay, but we don't want to, okay, then I want to do sannin because I want to tell them that there are 3 of them. Sannin shinpan wa.
Sannin no shinpan.
Sannin no shinpan. Hi. What's the flag? Hata. Okay, to lift. Wait a second. I'll try to do it myself.
I can't believe you don't know this word though. Ageru.
Ageru. Agerare. No, it's not that. Ageru. Nakereba narimasen.
Excellent. Nakereba narimasen. Good.
We have to follow that rule. So what does mean to follow a rule?
So the word I wanted to use was mamoru, but you can also use shitagao. But mamoru is quite well known, and it's a word that.
Mamoru. Okay, so mamoru.
Mamoru.
Mamo nakereba narimasen.
Nani o?
The rules.
Yeah, this rule in particular. So.
Kono. Okay. Kono shugi.
Yeah, I think so. I think in sports, it's kisoku.
Kisoku. Okay.
Yeah.
There we have a regulation rule. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still not used to the layout thingy. Okay, kono kisoku.
Then buy an Android telephone instead of using stupid iMac.
Yeah, I know. I just
things. Sorry, just getting in the knife to Apple people as they do whenever I have a problem with my PC.
Yeah, I totally do deserve it. I know. So kono kisoku. O.
Yep. Mamoru is a group 1 verb, by the way.
Mamo. Mamonai. No.
Mamoranai.
Mamoranakereba narimasen.
Very good. Mamoranakereba narimasen. Good.
So the hante there are still question marks. We have to put something there. We had it last week. I know, but I forgot.
All I wanted to say was, and we will look at this in this week's new lesson, which is if we're doing reported speech or a kind of thought bubble in the middle of a sentence, or we are marking a subclause in a sentence, then quite often we will use to. So we've actually already done this when we did, for example, I think, I will go. Yeah, exactly. I will go to Tokyo. Then we would make basically a subclause, almost like a little bit of speech, saying Tokyo ni iku. This goes in the plain form, so then you know that as it's in the plain form, it might be a subclause or a reported speech. To omoimasu. So this to marks almost like a quotation mark.
Like this.
And, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. And we can do the same thing for speech as well. If I wanted to say, Jock said, kill him. Jock commanded me to kill him. I would say, Jock sensei ga. Then I can't obviously say a speech, a quotation mark. Korose! To iimashita. Just say he said to iimashita. So this to makes it easy to understand that the previous thing that was being said was some reported speech. Yeah.
Okay.
So with hante as well, this would be hante to senkoku suru to doji ni 3人の審判は旗を上げなければなりません。Yeah.
はい。
Just in terms of
わかりました。
はい。Just in terms of efficient Japanese language speaking, we've got two sentences here which have got kereba narimasen at the end of them, so it's both sound like obligatives, which they kind of are in the English. But just to note that if you read like the Seitei manual or an instruction manual or I don't know a car repair manual, they don't actually say you have to do this. What they'll do is they'll simply put this verb here in the present tense. Agemasu just says you will, one will, they will.
So, この規則を守られます。
So, I mean, this is a little bit more like a command, isn't it? That we have to follow this rule. So that one can stay as この規則を守らなければなりません. But when we're just saying all three referees must lift their flags, it means all three referees will lift their flags. So you can just leave this in the present tense. Yeah. So, I mean, for example, in the Japanese version of the Seitei manual, I don't really think it says almost anywhere, except maybe in the introduction, this nakareba narimasen. It presents everything in the present tense as an instruction. Cool, thank you. Right, can you read that again, please, Louise?
はい。審判主任が判定と宣告すると、
And take two.
審判主任が判定と宣告すると同時に3人の審判は旗を上げます。この規則を守らなければなりません。
Very good. Yes. Okay, everybody together, please.
審判主任が宣告すると同時に3人の審判が旗を上げます。この規則を守らなければなりません。
なりません。
なりません。
守らなければなりません。
Very good. Cool.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Are you using here Shimpan wa to make emphasis on the three referees? Or why not ga? Because usually
I was thinking
I watching the Miku film about the Watashi wa, and she said when we use the wa, it draws emphasis if it's not in the beginning.
Yeah. So I was thinking that while you guys are reading it, that if we were using this to say that the head referee does this, and then the other three referees must do this in contrast, then we should use wa. But in this case, the head referee is actually included in these three referees. So it's not the fact that we're doing something exactly the same time. It's actually sequential. So I think in that case, we should make this ga and this also ga, because we're not saying as for them, they do this, and then these guys over here, they do that. We're actually saying the head referee says this, and then three referees do this. So we're not actually making a comparison exactly. We're just talking about two things being done at the same time. Yeah, I would blame Louise. I only broke down wa because Louise said wa.
Of course.
Okay, Wayne. Yeah, sorry, was there a question?
Andy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. You said we could use shitagao.
Yep.
What's the actual implication of that? Is it just follow as and pursue? Or is it something else?
I mean, the only reason why I pushed for mamoru is that it's used more commonly than shitagao. Let's have a quick look at the dictionary in a second.
Shitagai.
Yeah.
Shitagai is a verb.
Shitagaimasu, so shitagao is the infinitive. I mean, there's not really much difference, I don't think, between the two. But mamoru is used much more frequently, even though the actual dictionary only mentions the to observe, to obey, to follow in the bottom of the entry. But I mean, I think I'd heard shitagao like once before, which is why I kind of said previously use mamoru. It's just much more common use. Okay, Wayne. Everyone cheered at the same time as the aircraft landed. I think that was stupid. Did you have this one the other night or last week?
I didn't.
You didn't?
Okay. I think it was Constantina, maybe.
Ah, okay, right.
So hikoki ga jakuriku.
Good. Jakuriku.
すると同時に
Good.
みんなcheered, I forgot.
完成する。
が完成完成しました。
I think that was stupid.
バカか
Yep, バカ。
バカと思います。
Yeah, バカ。So this is a na adjective, so we have to バカだと思います。
Yeah.
だ
と思います。
Yeah. So this was saying, I think that was stupid. So not バカだ, but バカだ。だった。バカだったと思います。Yeah. Good. Yeah. This one, Wayne, this verb, Wayne, I think in particular you'd probably know. So this is the kan as in kando, kansha, gratitude. And then this is the sei of hasse. Yeah.
I know it from last week, from Tuesday, no, last week, but I just can't remember the vocabulary.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So it's kansha, and then what did I say? Hasse. Hasse. Chana. Hasse.
Oh. Hakushu.
See. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, maybe it was this one. Hang on. This one. It's koi, isn't it? So this is, let me say, kansei should come up. I can't see it. Oh, there it was. No, it's not it. Doesn't matter. Not doing kanji necessarily today.
Last one was correct.
Sorry, the first one.
The last one.
Oh, was it? Oh, right. Okay. So in that case, it's not the same kanji then. Cool. Okay. Thank you. Right. Can you read that again, please?
飛行機が着陸すると時にみんなが完成しました。バカだったと思います。
Very good. Good. Everybody together, please.
Hikoki
飛行機が
飛行機が着陸すると同時に
今が完成しました。バカだったと思います。
So actually, guys, we can things like chakuriku, which is a noun as well. We can do this without the suru. We can say chakuriku todojini. So the aircraft's landing, rather than at the time the aircraft landed. Yeah, good. Okay, David. While the sea is cold, remind me if you've done this one previously. While the sea is cold, it still looks very. You did this one on the last week, the first session, I think, didn't you?
I think so.
Yeah, let's do the next one then. It's a nice typical Eido one. Get rid of that stuff up there for a second. Put both hands on the sword the moment your left foot steps forwards. If you don't do this, then it will become dangerous.
Got it. Hidari ashi.
Sorry, Japanese a second. Hidari ashi ga.
Fumikomu to doji ni.
Very good. Fumikomu to doji ni.
Hidari, migi, ryote.
Ryote, good.
Or put your hands on.
So it's actually put your hands on the handle is actually the word I'm trying to think of. What's
or katana ni?
Oh, katana's fine. But I was thinking ska, really.
Ska.
Are you guys sending you Belgian guys sending signals to each other through your classes? Sorry, go ahead.
Ryote or ska. To take hold, kakemasu?
Yes, good. Ska ni kakemasu.
Ska ni kakemasu.
Yes, good. If you don't do this, then it will become dangerous.
それをしなければ、dangerous. 危険になります。
Very good. 危険になります。Excellent. Well done. Good. なります。はい。左足が踏み込むと同時に両手を塚にかけます。それをしなければ危険になります。Very good. Yeah. One more time, please, David.
左足が踏み込むと同時に両手を塚にかけます。それをしなければ危険になります。
Very good. Excellent. And everybody together, please.
左足が
踏み込むと同時に両手を塚にかけます。それをしなければ危険になります。
それをしなければ危険に。
Catch up, Luke.
Missing a knee.
Yeah, that was right. That's why I stopped, because I was missing the knee.
Which was that?
Ni.
Todoji.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, good. Thank you. Excellent. Thank you. Annika, while the sea is cold, it still looks very tempting. I might try and have a swim.
海が寒いと同時に魅力的
Like a nice big superlative in there. And not totemo.
大変魅力的
This is just like a kind of special kind of adjective, really. You can just put des on the end. Yeah. So teki. Who was here the other night?
But looks.
You don't. So teki means like. So
okay.
You don't actually need to put looks in this. You can just leave it as teki, because you can just say it looks. It is tempting. You don't have to say it looks tempting. we're actually going to do it looks like something in the next 20 minutes. So it would actually, if you put it in here, it wouldn't matter, but it would be kind of redundant. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I might try and have a swim.
Oyogu.
So that's the verb. Okay.
I'm not sure if we had this I might think before.
Not formally, we didn't. But how would you say, I'm thinking of having a swim? I might have I want to have a swim.
Oyogu to omoteimasu.
Yeah, good. This will work. Oyogu to omoteimasu. To say, I might try and have a swim, like you're going to test it. What we would do, guys, is we would put the verb that we're going to try and do, into the te form. And then we would put miru, to see, afterwards. So if I wanted to say, I will try and cut this hedgehog, then I would say, kono hari nezumi o kitte mimasu. Kitte mimasu, which means I'll try and cut it. Kitte mimasu. So if we wanted to do this with, I might try and have a swim, then you would say
Oyoide imasu. Oyoide mimasu.
Oyoide mimasu. Yes, good. Excellent. Please don't report me to the Protection of Animals Society. I wouldn't really cut a hedgehog. That'd be very rude. Okay. Roger. Oh yeah, go ahead. Oh, sorry, Annika. Can you read that again? Sorry.
And the question marks. I'm not sure what.
Right. Todojini.
Yeah.
Or,
didn't I say that?
You did, but would you have it?
No, because it's an adjective. You leave it.
No, it's not the fact it's an adjective. It's for another reason that you wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
If you look at Wayne, he's giving you all the answers there. Or Luke. Although looks like Wayne and Luke are talking about two different things, and Louise is swimming. This is helping. Yeah. Make a box and then swim inside of it, and then close the door after you.
Yeah, but I'm confused. So you don't need the to because.
Correct. What? Why? Why don't you need it? Same reason as up here, actually. It was strange, but while my stomach was aching, I still wanted to eat something. So in this case as well, even though the sea is cold, it still looks tempting. So this is a conflict of expectations, isn't it?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Do you understand what I mean by that conflict of expectations?
Yeah, I kind of know what you mean, but I couldn't explain it.
Let me ask my English to German translator Louise. Can you explain what that means?
Ja, also das sind zwei gegensätzliche Aussagen und wenn man gegensätzliche Aussagen hat, dann braucht man kein To dazwischen zu tun. Also wenn da kein To ist, dann ist damit gemeint, dass man zwei Dinge miteinander ja vergleicht, die eigentlich unwahrscheinlich sind, dass man sie gemeinsam tut. Also es ist kalt und du willst schwimmen, das ist irgendwie seltsam. Warum willst du schwimmen, wenn es kalt ist?
Ja, okay.
I couldn't have put it better. Yeah.
Genauso wie oben, sein Bauch tut weh, aber er will was essen. Das sind ja auch gegensätzliche.
Okay.
Ja.
It's good.
Danke.
Danke. Okay, can you read it one more time, please, Annika?
はい。海が寒い同時に大変魅力的です。泳いでみます。
Very good. And everybody together?
海が寒い同時に大変魅力的です。泳いでみます。
泳いでみます。
Excellent. Good. Thanks, Annika. And Roger. The moment I took the photograph, the girl collapsed. I think she wasn't feeling very well.
写真を撮ると同時に
Yeah.
女の子を
Not or. It's her that collapsed. She didn't collapse something, so it's onanoko
が
ga. Good.
I have no idea what collapsed is.
Okay, so collapse or to fall over is taoreru. Taoreru. It's a group 2 verb. Taoremashita.
Taoremashita.
Good.
彼女は
Sorry. 彼女は
元気
病気
じゃない
Oh, good. Get Genki Janai. Oh, sorry, I've run out of letters on Zoom. Hang on a second. I need to delete stuff. There's a bonkers part of this Zoom app that it actually stops you from typing when you've written too many letters. It's like an Apple Mac program. Sorry, Genki Janai.
じゃないと思います。
Very good. Hey, very good. Genki Janai to omoimasu. Yeah, good. So this will absolutely say what you want to say, Roger. Genki Janai to omoimasu. It's also kind of a little bit stating the obvious when you say Genki Janai, because Genki Janai means visibly well. So obviously if she fell over, she's not visibly well. But if you want to say, I don't think she felt very well, and you can use this to talk about yourself as well. The most common thing that's used, most common phrase is guai ga warui, which means condition. My condition is bad. Guai ga warui. There's lots of other ways of saying this. You can say choshi ga hen. My condition is strange. Choshi ga. You can use choshi and guai interchangeably. Really, choshi ga warui. But this guai ga warui is what you hear all the time from people if somebody's not feeling very well. So can we shoehorn that in here?
彼女は具合が悪いですと思い。
So we don't need this with an e adjective. We can just have warui to omoimasu. Yeah, good. Excellent, well done. 写真を撮ると同時に女の子が倒れました。彼女は具合が悪いと思います。Can you read it one more time, please, Roger?
写真を撮ると同時に女の子が倒れました。彼女は具合が悪いと思います。
Good, yeah. So can I just help you with your pronunciation a little bit? You don't, this taoremashita, you don't need to step over the ta and the o separately. This can sound like towel, like a bath towel. So you can just actually make this taoremashita. Yeah. But what this warui, you do need to step through wa, ru, and e in 3 steps. Warui. Can you try that?
Warui.
Yeah, warui. Yeah, good. Okay, can you all read this together, please?
写真を
撮ると同時に女の子が倒れました。彼女は具合は悪いと思います。
Very good. Excellent.
Question.
Proszę.
Could we use taoremasu also on things like
Yes, buildings.
地震から建物が倒れました。
Exactly. You can use it for this. Yeah. Yeah. You can even use it for companies that go bankrupt. You can use taoremashita. Yeah. Cool. Good. Joel, I'm studying for my maths exam at the same time as working at the zoo's cafe. I'm therefore very busy every day.
動物園のカフェ、could you say coffee shop?
Yeah, cafe, coffee shop, kisaten, these are all good.
Okay. 動物園のカフェにで
yeah, it's good.
動物園のカフェで働くと同時に
Yeah, I think that appears as a subclause. So I think you have de hataraku.
と同時に
Yeah.
数学の試験を勉強しています。
I wasn't sure about this de, as this is finished with shite imasu, but I think this is basically a subclause again, so that as this is just a plain verb here, this should be de, I think. Okay.
そして忙しいです。
So I would use for therefore instead of soshite, which kind of means and then, I would use des kara. You can use this at the beginning of a sentence. Des kara.
ですから忙しいです。
Yes.
とても忙しいです。
Very good. Oh, isogashi desu. Let's use that. That's so what's the word? Nostalgic for me. Nobody uses it anymore. Like all fashions, it went out of. Yeah. So just to stretch your Japanese ninja skills a bit more, Joel. Sugaku no shiken or benkyou shite imasu means I'm studying my maths exam. You would be understood if you said this. It's clear what you're trying to say. But how could you make this sentence a little bit more like the English meaning? What's that key phrase that's coming there?
Tameni.
Not tameni.
Not tameni.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. 動物園のカフェで働くと同時に数学の試験のために勉強しています。ですから超忙しい。that still sounds funny. 超忙しいです。忙しいです。Okay, good. Can you read it one more time, please, Joel?
動物園のカフェで働くと同時に数学の試験のために勉強しています。ですから超忙しいです。
Very good. And everybody together?
動物園のカフェで働くと同時に数学の試験のために勉強しています。ですから超忙しいです。
Good. Guys, I know that you've got enough to worry about as it is with just learning the grammar, the vocabulary, but when you see these double vowels, generally, can you be careful to stress them a little bit longer? So, for example, if I wanted to read this at a fairly natural speed, I would press these double vowels a bit harder. 動物園のカフェで働くと同時に数学の試験のために勉強しています。ですから超忙しいです。You know, I'm just pressing it a little bit longer than just rolling over it. Luke, go ahead.
Yeah, just this might be way too early for my limited knowledge of the Japanese language, but is there a difference between the double vowel or like D-O-U and D-O-O?
In terms of pronunciation, no, there's no difference. So a good example of this is, like you just said, Dobutsuen, this D-O-U. This is actually written in hiragana as do-u, but oki, this is O-O, oki. But in terms of pronunciation, these are no different. It's still, this U here is purely a, give me a second. It's only because Japanese was pushed to become phoneticized. So it's basically the same sound. Oki, do, butsuen. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Amanda. Let me just, I think we'll skip this one because it's pretty much like the other one we did just now. And let's do this one here. The door closed at the same time as I stepped onto the train. It pinched my elbow and was very painful. It's some new words here, but I'll introduce them because they're fun, if you're into that sort of thing.
Okay. Door ga.
So sorry, what's in this reference, I think that's the time reference there. Same time as I stepped onto the train. What you doing?
I'm just trying to remember what to enter a train is. So
okay. I thought you were ordering a curry on the internet.
I was just trying to go on Addict and have a look
let me help instead. So densha, to get on, densha, what would be the particle?
Ni.
Densha ni is fine. You can also use densha o, good. And then noru means to ride and get on. But to say to step on, that act of stepping on, I would use norikomu. It means to get on and enter. Norikomu.
So densha ni norikomu to doji ni.
Yep.
Doa. I'm sorry, my mind keeps going blank. This would be because it's doing it itself, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So it's intransitive. So just before we get to the verb, what's the particle we need here? You know I'm all about the particles.
Is the subject?
Yes, it is. So it's ga. I say ga.
Okay. So door ga shimarimashita.
Very good. Shimarimashita. Excellent. Now these next one, this is probably all, apart from painful, I expect that section there is probably completely unknown to you, is it? Okay. So elbow is hiji.
Okay. That'd be useful for me.
If any of you done karate, this is called hijiate, which you might recognize. And then pinch. The word scissors. Oops, scissors. To think for a second how to spell scissors. I've written it down for like 30 years. The word scissors is hasami, which is a nounification of a verb meaning to pinch, which is hasamu.
Okay, that sounds like it's a group 1 verb.
It is indeed. In fact, it has to be. There's no other way it can be anything else.
So hijiga hasamimashita.
Hijiga. So hijiga hasamimashita means my elbow pinched. How would you say it? My elbow was pinched. What kind of?
You need a passive.
Exactly. Good.
So
I'm going to just help you a little bit because
please do.
Running out of time. Yeah. So it's has. Actually, let me put it to the panel. Anybody wants to help Amanda?
First, we take the negative form, then we cut off the e.
So hasamanai. Good. Hasamanai. Then one more time, please, Tom.
Then we cut off the e.
Good.
And then we add revu.
Revu.
And then the ru we convert to a mass form if you want or not.
Hasamanai. Hasamana. Sorry. Hasamu. Hasamanai. Then we take off the nai, don't we? Hasama remashita. Not just the e, but the whole nai. Jesus Christ. Hasamaremashita. Hasamaremashita. And then it was very painful.
Totemo itai deshita.
So it's an e adjective. You can't put deshita.
Data.
No. How do we make e adjectives into the past?
Oh, sorry. Ita kata.
Very good. And then des. Good. Okay. Can you read that to me one more time, please, Amanda?
Okay. Densha ni norikomo to doji ni doga shimaremashita. Hiji ga hasamaremashita. Totemo ita kata desu.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Everybody together. See if you can get through this word here without dislocating your jaw.
Densha o norikomo to doji ni
Actually, it's more likely you'll grind all the enamel off your teeth saying that one, isn't it? Okay, Nasuka, Yaktam?
It's okay.
Yeah, want to go? Do you want to try?
I want to try.
Excellent, good. How about this one? A fire occurred at the same time as an earthquake. I quickly called the fire brigade.
A fire is a jishin or
so fire is kaji.
Kaji.
And earthquake is jishin, as you said. Yeah.
Jishin to kaji to
yeah.
Jishin to doji ni.
So okay, good.
Kaji ga shimashita.
So the word to happen, to occur, sounds very similar in Japanese. It's okoru. Okoru. And this is a group 1 verb.
Jishin to doji ni kaji ga okorima.
Yeah, that's it.
Okorimashita.
Okorimashita. Good.
Sugu ni.
Oh, good.
Shobotai.
Ni shobotai.
Denwa shimashita.
Oh, very good. Excellent. Denwa shimashita. Bardzo dobrze. Jishin to doji ni kaji ga okorimashita. Sugu ni shobotai ni denwa shimashita. Can you read it one more time, please, Nasuka?
Jishin to doji ni kaji ga okorimashita. Sugu ni shobotai ni denwa shimashita.
Excellent. And everybody together?
Jishin to doji ni
kaji ga okorimashita.
Very good. Excellent. Any questions about doji ni? Are we all masters of doji ni now?
It's very useful.
It's not very useful, did you say, Luke?
It's useful. It is useful.
Okay. Right, let's just clear this schnaffle off. Okay, let's look at today's subject, shall we? Share screen, go to there, press that, click that, remove that, and we're ready to go. So we're now going to look at looks like, seems like, sounds like, and using descriptors. If you go to this website link, there's a whole page on a few more other types of descriptors and a really nice thing to read. So in English, we use sentences to describe things like, not just saying it is hot. We might say it seems hot, or it looks hot, or she looks tired. And we do the same thing in Japanese. But for example, we might say in English, that looks tasty, and that seems heavy, that sounds nice, and he looks like an athlete. So these are all slightly different, of course. This is using visual reference. That looks tasty, that seems, so you're kind of guessing what something is, and that sounds, this is kind of saying it sounds nice, it's audible. He looks like an athlete, so we can see that we can use a noun here as the descriptor, as well as using adjectives as we have here. So we're not restricted to just using adjectives, we can say. And he looks like an idiot. In Japanese, there are a similar range of functions like this. We're going to do 2 this evening, and by the time I get to the end of this explanation, you'll see why I've only chosen 2 and not 6, because they take time to explain. But the 2 we'll do today are both pronounced sordes, but they're used in different ways. And even though my explanation is going to make more confusion than clarity, I've got a nice little summary at the end which will help you to categorize them in your mind. And when you come to do the exercises, you'll see that actually they're not so difficult to remember. So the first one is about saying that something looks like or seems like, visually seems like something. And what I would point out and emphasize to you guys, something to make a note of, is that this creates a new na adjective, which I'll explain as we do an example. So if I want to say it looks like he's going somewhere, it looks like she will eat that pasty, then for verbs, we take the mas form, remove the mas, and put sordes. For example, kawaru, kawareru, to break. If I want to say, oh, this is all wrong, by the way, hang on a second. I'll just change this, because eventually I'll be teaching the lower class this as well. Koware mas, koware sordes. Right, that's done.
Oops.
Okay, so koware mas, to break. Kawareru, to break, would become koware mas. We remove the mas and put koware sordes. It looks like it will break. Ochiru, group 2 verb, meaning to fall. If you want, for example, if I held this on my fingertips and you think, well, that's dangerous, that looks like it's going to fall. Ochiru, it's a bit easier with group 2 verbs. You can either start from the infinitive or start from the mas form and just remove the suffix and put sordes, ochi sordes. Okay, so far, guys? Good. Only trouble is if we are using negative verbs, there's a little bit of witchcraft we have to do. We make the plain negative form. So, for example, kawarenai, remove the e and put sasordes. So, for example, if I wanted to say it looks like he will not go, I would say ikanasasordes. Ikanasasordes. Moshi memo o kakou to omottara, douzo kaite kudasai. For the e adjectives, we simply remove the e and insert sordes. For example, if I want to say it looks hot, I'll start with atsui, remove the e and put sordes, atsu sordes. The only exception with e adjectives is the adjective good, e. And just like all other transformations of e, we have to use yoi and put yos. Don't ask me why. We have to still put sa in there. Yosasordes, yosasordes. And for negatives, just like we had with negative verbs, we remove the e from kunai and replace it with sasordes. So if I wanted to say it doesn't look hot, from atsukunai, it's not hot, I would change this to atsukunasasordes. For na adjectives, we simply stick sordes after the adjective. So, for example, benri des would become benri so desu, genki so desu. It looks convenient. He looks healthy. And again, just we have to do a little bit of witchcraft with the negative of the na adjective. This would be genki dewanai in the plain form, genki dewanai or genki janai. And we again, just like we did with the negative verb and the negative e adjective, we replace the i of nai with saso desu. Genki dewa nasaso desu, genki janasaso desu, genki nasaso desu. These are all possible. Feels like there's lots to remember. What I would say is, to help you to memorize this form, is what's basically happening is the so desu is being inserted inside the normal way of saying that verb or that noun. It's like it's kind of interjecting itself in there, like forcing its way inside the normal statement. So, you know, kawarimasu, we kind of break off the mas and stick in so desu. So we never get to say the whole verb. Ochimasu, we break in there with so desu, ochi so desu. It never gets to, you never get to say ochimasu. You just say ochi so desu. And then again, ochinai, we don't get to say ochinai in the plain form. The so desu rams itself in between the na and the i and becomes ochinasa so desu. Same thing with e adjectives. It forces itself in before you get to say the whole e adjective, and you get atsu so desu, atsuku nasa so desu. Normally with na adjectives, it's followed with des. So you say benri desu, genki desu. But again, it forces itself in and you get benri so desu, genki so desu, instead of being able to say the whole sentence. Now, I've mentioned this because this is in contrast, in stark contrast to the other type of so desu, which is when you want to express hearsay, like I heard that tomorrow will be cold. I heard that Rieko slept alone that evening. Not sure about Kenji, but at least Rieko slept by herself. Okay, so this also uses so desu, but in a slightly different way. With verbs, we leave the verb in the plain form or the plain negative form and just simply add so desu at the end. So to give you an example, ikimasu, we turn this into the plain form, into the infinitive, and say iku so desu. So this time we get to say the whole thing, iku so desu. Mimasu, miru so desu. If we want to use the negative, we have to turn the negative into the plain negative. So kaimasen would become kawanai so desu. I heard that he won't buy it. Kawanai so desu. There can't be much more to write because I'm running out of space. For e adjectives, we make the entire e adjective and put so desu at the end. So takai would become takai so desu. Isogashi would become isogashi so desu. And again, if you want to make the negative, you state the entire negative, isogashikunai so desu. So this time we're not breaking into the middle of the sentence. We're not breaking into any verbs. We're just saying the entire thing in the plain form and then putting so desu at the end. Stay with me, guys. We've only got a couple more to do. Nouns and na adjectives. We append da so desu to the na adjective or the noun. Da so desu. So da is just the plain form of desu. Da. So, for example, if I wanted to say, I heard it is today, whatever is going to happen, I heard it is today, kyo da so desu. If I want to say it's not convenient, fuben da so desu. Okay, so far, guys. Any questions before I give you a summary, which will answer all the questions that you're probably going to ask anyway? Amanda?
Did I miss something, or can you not use the first way with nouns?
You can. You didn't miss something. I just forgot to put in here. You can treat it the same way as na adjectives. So you can say jishin saw this. Yeah. Kaji ga okuri saw this. No, I remember my previous answer to this actually. Sorry, scratch that last thing I just said, Amanda. When you're using nouns, you don't use the saw des, this form, to say it looks like something else. You use a different descriptor, which is mitai des, which we'll do maybe next week or the week after. Mitai des. Yeah, so we don't actually use saw des for nouns, actually. Okay, let me just summarize this because it's probably quite confusing already. With it looks like, the saw des basically replaces the mas or the e most of the time with adjectives and the negative forms of adjectives or the negative forms of verbs. Okay, and each time it's kind of forcing itself into the sentence. The second type, I heard. What you're doing in each case with the I heard is it's almost like you're doing reported speech again, like you're saying to imashita or to omoimasu. You say the entire sentence in the plain form, and then you say saw des at the end. So, for example, if I want to say it is hot, I can say atsui des, but in casual form, I don't say atsui des, I just say atsui. Atsui. Without the des. So to say I heard it is hot, I would say atsui, like in quotes, saw des, I heard. Atsui saw des.
そうですか?
Saw des, yo? Yeah. If I want to say I heard that she is not well, that, and then let's use a different one. Let's say I heard that she is well. I would say, if I want to say she is well, then you just say genki desu. Kanojo wa genki desu. But to say this in the plain form, I would say kanojo wa genki da. Genki da, not genki desu. I can take that entire clause and just put saw des at the end to say I heard. So it's almost like to omoimasu or to imashita. It's almost like having reported speech in quotes. Any questions, guys? Let's give it a try with some exercises. It might become, you might see that it's actually a lot easier than the way I'm explaining it. Okay, so I've got to be a little bit sharpish about this because we're running out of time.
If you don't have enough time, I will skip mine because I did it already on Tuesday.
Oh, okay, thank you, Tom.
First, let the other people go.
That would be useful, thank you. 12 other people put their hands up and say, can I also skip? Yeah, I did this last year. Sorry, David.
I'm sure I'll see it next year.
Sorry, David, did you also say that you're happy to skip for now? If I put you and Luke last, is that okay? Cool. Sorry, you and Tom last. Sorry, not Luke. Okay, let's start from. Let's go to the top again. So, Jock, that vase looks like it's going to fall from the shelf. You should take it down.
あの花瓶がタンスから落ちそうです。
Yeah, good. 落ちそうです。
Take it down.
I actually made up. I made up a word for this job. I made up a word called torisageru.
Okay.
It might be correct, but it kind of works.
Torisage nakia ikenai.
How would you say it would be better to take it down rather than you must?
Torisage hoga ii desu.
Yeah, torisageta hoga ii desu. Yeah, good. Good. Can you read it one more time, please?
Kabin ga tansu kara ochisou desu. Torisageta hoga ii desu.
Yes, good. And everybody together, please.
花瓶がタンスから落ちそうです。取り下げた方がいいです。
Good. If any of you can't remember the word for shelf, you can use tansu, or the other word you should know, because if you all do tana, yeah, because it comes from Shinden and Jikiden, tanashita. This is tana. You have no excuse not to know this. Good. Kelly, even though it looks like, yeah, I think you should be able to do this quite easy. We've got a combination of grammatical functions here, Kelly. I hope you're feeling genki.
ない。
残念ね。
雨が降りそうです。It seems like can you say so みたい or
no, you can use the saw here as well with the verb.
雨が降りそうです。
Let's use ga for now as just for time efficiency.
彼女が泳ぎそうです。
泳ぎそうです。This would work. If she's going for a swim, then we could use something else maybe here. Like for example, sushi o tabe ni ikimasu. I'm going to eat sushi. So here we could use.
彼女が泳ぐに行きます。
泳ぎに
行きます。
She looks like she's going.
行きそうです。
行きそうです。Yeah, excellent. Good. Perfect. So good. Excellent. Can you read that one more time, please, Kelly?
雨が降りそうですが、彼女が泳ぎに行きそうです。
Very good. And everybody together?
雨がそうですが、彼女が泳ぎに行きそうです。
彼女が泳ぎに行きそうです。
Excellent. Good. And Luke, it looks like a new bank is going to be built right here.
新しい銀行がconstructed, built.
This is tateru.
Tateru, right, stand.
Yeah.
Tate so.
Tate so.
This.
Good. Yes, exactly.
At kokoni.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to say so right here, like exactly here, then you can use chodo, koko ni. Chodo, exactly, chodo. Excellent, good. Can you read that one more time, please, Luke?
ちょうどここに新しい銀行が建ってそうです。
Very good. And everybody together?
ちょうどここに新しい銀行が建ってそうです。
Excellent, good. And Luis, wow, he's very tired. It looks like he's going to die.
彼がとっても疲れた。
疲れて to join it. Yep.
How you do that?
Shinu.
So
becomes, in the mass form, would be
死ねます。
shinimasu. Remove the mass.
死にそうです。
Very good. Shinisou desu. Excellent. Good. Aya, kare ga totemo tsukarete shinisou desu. Can you read it one more time, please, Louise?
あや、彼がとても疲れて死ぬそうです。
Very good. And everybody together?
あやー、
彼がとても疲れて
死にそうです。死にそうです。
It's funny. I've learned more from you guys when it comes to exclamations in Japanese than I've probably taught you in grammar. I never learned exclamations because I just thought I don't need them. So every time we have a lesson about and we use something like wow, I have to ask one of you to tell me what the exclamation is. Aya! Ooh! Wow! Wayne, it looks like she's going to ask him to do that admin work.
Good. 彼に
Yep.
Candy.
Very good. Yeah. So it's that admin work. So
その
管理
の仕事
Very good. 管理の仕事
を頼みます。
So tanomu is the plain form. So this would become
頼み
Yep.
そうです。
Yes. 頼みそうです。Excellent. Good. 彼女は彼にその管理の仕事を頼みそうです。One more time, please, Wayne.
彼女は彼にその管理の仕事を頼みそうです。
Very good. And everybody together?
彼女は
彼にその管理の仕事を頼みそうです。
頼みそうです。
This is a very good verb, guys. Tanomu. If you ask somebody or plead or entrust somebody else to do some work on your behalf, you say tanomimasu, tanomu. It's a very commonly used verb. Good. Annika. The sea looks warm. Let's swim for 10 minutes.
海
Let me just silence the Belgian.
Umi ga atsu so desu.
Okay, so if we're using atsui, this usually means a kind of negative, like it's hot. Oh, it's hot. But if you want to say pleasantly hot or warm,
Atatakai.
atatakai.
No one wants to say atatakai.
Not without spitting on the screen. Yeah.
Umi ga atatakaso desu.
Good. Atatakaso desu.
10分泳ぎましょう。
So with minutes, if you're trying to work out how to make the right construction of a number with minutes, it's a little bit similar to the Zenken Ren katas, apart from the first 5. So 1分、2分、3分、4分、5分、6分、7分、8分、9分、9分, not the same as the Japanese Zenken katas. 10分目 is 10分. That didn't really help at all, really, did it? Because it's completely inconsistent. But it's 10分. Yeah.
Yeah, 10分泳ぎましょう。
泳ぎましょう. Yeah, good. Excellent. 海が暖かそうです。10分泳ぎましょう. Can you read it one more time, please, Annika?
Umi ga atatakaso desu. 10分泳ぎましょう.
Excellent. And everybody together?
海が暖かそう。
海が暖かそうです。10分泳ぎましょう.
And because of the young kids of today in Japan are too stupid to be able to pronounce atatakai, nowadays lots of people say atakai, and they just atakai, double hit the T, atakai. Cool, good. Roger, that metal looks hot. Please don't touch it. You might burn yourself. Roger, I'm not sure if you're talking because you're muted and your mouth is below the camera level, and you've got a big beard as well.
Big beard, yeah. Sono.
Good.
No idea what metal is off the top of my head.
Kinzoku. Kinzoku.
Sono kinzoku. Or.
No, not all. No. No.
Wa.
Let's say ga.
Ga. Atsuso desu.
Very good. Atsuso desu.
We had.
So you can use sawaru, but for touching with your hands, the better verb is fureru. Fureru. To touch or to feel. 俺のケツを触れないでください。
触れてください.
So it's a negative.
触れないでください.
Very good. 触れないでください. Yeah, excellent. And then how would you say you might burn yourself? This is a new word actually, Roger. A burn injury is yakedo. Yakedo.
Anatomo. What's yourself?
So yeah, this thing the possibility of doing something. There's a few different ways of saying this. So one way that we've done before is to say yakedo suru, and then so this is the plain form. This is a kind of little sub clause, and then you can say kanose, which means possibility. Ga arimasu. Yakedo suru kanose ga arimasu.
We do something with narimasu too.
Did we do that? I don't remember.
Like it becomes a burn injury. I don't know.
Yakedo ni naru kamoshite. You could use yakedo ni naru, but as it's burn yourself, you can use suru here. Yakud. Oh, yeah. Sorry, you could use yakedo naru kanose ga arimasu. Yeah, definitely. How most people actually, this is quite a technical way of expressing this sentence. The way that most Japanese would actually say this, instead of saying kanose ga arimasu, they would say, Louise, have a guess. You've almost certainly heard this when you're in Japan. Something might happen. I might do something. You might do something. It might be this. And when I say it, you're going to go, Scheiße, I knew it was that.
Chance.
No, chance. This is your opportunity to burn yourself. Kamoshirenai. Kamoshiremasen. Annika?
Is it also okay to do it like the swimming? I might try and swimming as the example before. We had
no, so you can't use it for this is slightly different. So you couldn't say yakedo shite mimasu. That means you might try and burn yourself.
Not with mimimas, like just like ikemas or
no, this would mean to try and do something.
Okay.
So it's a slightly different sentence. All this means here, kamoshiremasen, is a very unsure way of saying to omoimasu. It's basically the same. It's just much more chance-based. Not chance-based, Wayne. Chance.
Could you write that down again?
Yeah,
The
sure.
kamo.
It's kamo. Oops, sorry. Something, something, something. Kamo shiremasen. Tom?
I would have used here the tamini. Is that also possible? Because if I read it, I would say, in order not to burn yourself, please don't touch it.
Ah, so you could absolutely reconstruct this sentence. Yeah. So have a go.
So I would then start with the yakedo suru.
Good. Not yakedo suru, in order to not burn yourself. So shinai. Shinai, good.
And then it's not a noun, it's a verb, so nothing, tamini.
So this is a case where with negative verbs, you can't use
It's
tamini.
like an I accepted then.
No, it's fine. Whether it's a verb or an e adjective, it doesn't matter. But you can't use tameni with a negative. You have to use yoni.
Yoni.
Yeah. And then?
And then furenai de kudasai.
Perfect. Yes, good. Yeah, good. Yakedo shinai yoni furenai de kudasai. Absolutely, this is a really good way of saying it. Very sophisticated Japanese. Okay, cool. Louise, can you read this one more time? And then I leave it up to you to use Tom's version of this or my better version. Or my version of this.
Okay.
Just read my sentence, Louise. That's good.
I'll do that.
Oh, Louise, sorry, not Louise. Sorry, Roger, beg your pardon. Sorry. It's because you two look so similar.
That's what I think every time I look at it.
That's because Louise has always got a cat with her and you think it's Roger's beard.
Exactly, yeah.
My cat is the most unhairy cat on the planet.
Well, that's pretty close to Roger's head then.
Oh my.
All right. Sono kinzoku ga atsusou desu furenai de kudasai. Yakedo suru kamo shiranai.
Excellent, good, yes. And everybody together, please.
Sono kinzoku ga atsusou desu. Furenai de kudasai. Yakedo suru kamo shiranai.
Good. Where are we? Joel. These cakes look so delicious. Can I try one? Don't ask me what ooh is. You have to ask somebody else.
Kono keki ga oishishou desu.
Oishishou desu. Yeah.
Can I try one?
Here we can use the stuff that Annika was just asking if we can use.
When we use miru?
You can, but if you're trying a cake, what verb are you using to try it with?
Taberu.
Taberu, good. So, tabete.
Tabete. To try, tabete mimasu ka?
Okay, so tabete mimasu ka means will you try it? But if you want to say can I try it, I'm pretty sure. Goodbye, whoever's leaving. Who was it?
Roger.
Roger, he was so insulted by you. Just
good job. He's also English. He knows that I'm a bastard. Joel, if you wanted to say, can I do something? Do you remember how to say this? I don't think we've done it in our classes, but I'm sure you know this from previous Japanese language study.
No idea.
You know this, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I try it? Or is it
exactly. Yeah. And this more is optional. You don't need to say more.
Right.
Okay, can you read it one more time, please, Joel? Oops. Oh God, I've got this.
このケーキが美味しそうです。食べてみていいですか？
Now,
Keiki.
sorry, my computer's turned on to overwrite mode somehow. Maybe that. Oh, okay, good.
It's not keiko.
Oops.
Too much keiko, not enough keiki.
Sorry, obsessed.
Like this training.
Delicious training.
Good. And everybody together, please.
ケーキが美味しそうです。食べてみてもいいですか？
I'm not sure about this air, you know, guys. I think it's wow. Wow. I think it's wow.
I think it's more like you
Yeah.
were surprised.
One more time, Louise.
So you would use more like when you're surprised.
Yes, I think you're right. Yeah.
So like really?
Yeah. Like that. So. Excellent. Good. Amanda. Just move this stuff around a little bit. Mount Fuji looks really high, but at the same time, I want to climb it. Oh my God, we've got at the same time there.
Okay, so Fujiyama.
What? Did you say Fujiyama?
Fuji-san.
Yeah,
Fujiyama, you sound like a 1960s BBC documentary.
good.
Fuji-san.
Okay, Fuji-san. I wasn't sure. I did put Fuji-san, and then I crossed it out and put Fujiyama because
it's the highest and most holy mountain.
Okay, Fuji-san.
You've watched that program as well, Louise?
No, I've been there up there.
Okay.
You do realise that this is not a sentence I would ever actually willingly say, don't you?
Of course, yeah.
You have to start with Sacred Mount Fujiyama-san.
Mr. Fujiyama?
Sacred Mount Fujiyama-san.
Fuji-san Takasu desu.
Taka what?
Takai. I was
Takai?
Takai and Takasu desu.
Takaso.
So Takaso
desu. Yeah.
Doji ni noboretai.
Okay, so we're going to have to put some kind of connector block in here. Doji ni noboritai, and then we have to finish it with noboritai.
Yes.
Yes, good. Okay, takaso des, and then we're doing doji ni. Now, how would we do this? Apart from Tom and David, any guesses how to do this connection here?
Ga?
You can use ga, but we're using doji ni, so we can't use ga.
Desu kedomo.
Can't use that either.
Deskara.
Can't use that either.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Aru.
Yes.
Desu no de.
I think I heard the right response from Wayne there. One more time. Are you still muted?
You're muted.
Aru.
Not just aru, but somebody just said it. Who was it? Was it David?
I think Louise said it.
Oh, Louise. Louise, go ahead.
Don't act surprised. Yeah, da.
Aru. So this why?
Because we need the plain form before doing todoji ni.
Yeah, that's true. But why did you choose de aru?
Because it turned into an adjective.
Exactly. Takaso is a na adjective, and to join na adjectives with doji ni, we put de aru to in between. Well done, Joel, and Wayne. Yeah.
Andy.
Should you have todoji ni?
Sorry, you're correct. Yeah. So just de aru doji ni. Yeah.
I was going to ask about that actually, because I wasn't really sure if I should be using doji ni here at all, because it doesn't really mean like I see Mount Fuji and I immediately want to at the same time climb it. It means even though it's high, I want to climb it. So is it really the right thing to use at all? Or should I be using
you can. I mean, we could have just forced in here Fuji-san ga takaso desu kedo noboritai desu. You could say this. I just intentionally forced in this at the same time to make you exercise the doji ni. Yeah. That's all. I was just being a masochist. Sadist.
But
Sadist.
here it kind of means, on the other hand, I still want to climb it, doesn't it? Rather than
Yeah, but you can use this doji ni in the without the to again to present two different expectations. So you can use kedo or ga. Yeah. Okay. Right, Amanda, can you read that one more time, please?
Oh yes, sorry. Fujisan ga takaso de aru doji ni noboritai desu.
Perfect. And everybody together?
Fujisan ga takaso de aru dojo ni noboritai desu.
Noboritai desu.
Dojo.
Dojo. Did I say dojo? Oh no, somebody else did. Okay, Nazca. I want to go to Southeast Asia, but the insects look really scary.
I am not sure about this so fast.
Honan Asia
Honan Asia
is in Southeast Asia.
Ikitai no desu ka?
Ikitai desu ka?
Ikitai desu ka?
Yeah.
Mushi ga sugaku kowasou desu.
Very good, yeah. Kowasou desu. Very good. Excellent. Kowasou desu. Cool. What we haven't done in these guys is done the negative of this type of sordes. And what I might do is, in fact, do that in our revision next week instead. What I'd like to do in the last 9 minutes is practice the second type of sordes. And you probably think 9 minutes isn't enough to do it. And I think Tom and Dave will tell you that 9 minutes is exactly how much time we need to do it in. Prepare yourself for a sprint to the end of this week's classes. Let me just delete some of this shuffle. I'll lose that one. Okay, Tom. I heard that there will be a festival in August.
8月に祭りが I heard it will be I heard that I have to do just the infinitive and then so this. I'm looking just for the infinitive of the will be is aru. So that's
exactly. So look, guys, however confused you were before about this second type, all that Tom has done is made a statement in the plain form and put sordes at the end. Hachigatsu ni matsuri ga aru. So this is just the plain way of saying in August there will be a festival. Hachigatsu ni matsuri ga arimasu. Put it into the plain form and then just put sordes at the end. It's really easy. Good, thanks, Tom. David, Martin sounds very well at the moment.
At the moment, ima Martin-san wa genki da so desu.
Good. Genki da so desu. Excellent. So look here again. This is purely a plain form sentence that we've just encapsulated and put sordes at the end. Easy peasy. Like just saying, I heard that. The rest of the information. Jock, I heard that the new ATM in the lobby is very convenient.
Genkan ni oitaru ATM ga benri da so desu.
Benri da so desu. Excellent. Yes, good. So again, there we have the plain form statement. Easy peasy. Good. Thanks, Jock. Let's see. Nazca. I would like to go to Hong Kong, but I heard that this is very expensive.
Hong Kong ni ikitai desu. Takai?
Yeah. Good. That's it.
とても高いと高いとそうです。とても高いそうです。
Yeah, exactly. Takai so desu. So again, this is simply here a plain form sentence. Hong Kong ni ikitai desu. That should be a ga here, really, shouldn't it? Desu ga totemo takai. You could just say this to your friends if you weren't speaking formally. Hong Kong ni ikitai desu ga totemo takai. In fact, we could even lose this part here. Ikitai ga totemo takai. So desu. This will be fine. Let's see. Annika. I heard that she won't meet him at the hotel until the luggage is picked up from the station. Gandalf.
Kanojo.
Just for time efficiency, Annika. You can re-echo. If we look at this sentence in its entirety first, actually, the way we have to say this in Japanese is to this part here is basically a condition, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the bit we need to say first, and then the reported speech, and then, of course, the I heard bit. So we have to do the condition first, really.
Made nimotsu ga
I'm ignoring the matter, and I'll explain why in a second.
Okay. To pick up was.
Let's use just toru for now, just for time efficiency. Toru. And I think we probably need to use.
Yeah.
And where from?
Eki.
Eki. And from?
Eki kara.
Good. Eki kara. Nimotsu or. Now here we have the particle that you just said, which I ignored, which was.
Ga.
No. You said at the very beginning. You said.
Made.
Made. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
This again is kind of like a little subclause, and then you say until the luggage is picked up from the station. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Made.
Kanojo. Awanai.
Riekoga.
Riekoga.
Who with? Who is she awanaing with?
Him. I am
Kare.
not sure.
Kare.
Kare. Okay. Ga kare oteru.
If you're saying meet with somebody, what particle needs to go after the person you're meeting?
O.
O. Ni. To. All are good. Ni. O. To.
And
then the verb.
Aru. Au.
Au.
Au. Hoteru ni.
Hoteru.
De.
Ni. Hoteru. Yeah, good.
So this.
I haven't got a verb yet.
Au so this.
Won't meet him. Won't.
Awanai. So this.
Good. Yeah. Awanai. So this. Excellent. Good. Perfecto. Very good. Very good. Let's see. It's Kelly. I heard that Tanaka-san won't go on the business trip to Shikoku.
出張に四国の出張
Good. 四国の
田中さん四国の
出張 is this a double consonant 出張 I think it is because I wrote it like this last time. I just want to make first.
I think it
I think it is, isn't it? Yes, it is. Yeah, 出張 出張
行かなそうです。
I heard. So not ikana sodes, but
I don't know.
It's the right verb. It's just it's ikanai sodes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
ikanai sodes. Good. So again, we've got this in a little subclause. Good. We did it in exactly 8 minutes. See, told you it was easy. Actually, the heard bit is probably a little bit easier than the it looks like grammar, really, isn't it? You don't actually have to do much with this with the I heard, because you just take the sentence and make it the plain form, which you all know how to do this, and then just put sodes at the end. It's a bit like saying to omoimasu at the end of a sentence. So it's pretty kind of easy, really. It's just the it looks like stuff we'll have to do a bit more practice next week, I think, and practice the negative versions of it. Cool. Any questions, guys? Any problems? Anything you want to get off your chest? Any sort of shameful things you've done you want to express to the group and admit to? Now's the time.
With recording.
Yeah, but it'll only be the rest of the entire Japanese corner members that will see it. So
that's like 200 people.
Yeah, but they're all good friends, kind of. I think.
You.
Well, I wouldn't say I was a good friend. I wouldn't say I was good anyway. Okay, good. Thanks for this evening, guys. I look forward to seeing you next week. As I said, Tuesdays will become a bridging session. So you're welcome to come and join, and we'll be going back to lesson 12 and doing the ba conditional. Good opportunity to join.
Andy, Tuesday morning, is that going to be bridging or?
No, Tuesday morning will be our normal
normal
class. Yeah. So Tuesday morning. So from next week, guys, the normal Tasogare Kai will be Tuesday mornings and Thursday evenings only. But you're welcome to come to the Tuesday evening bridge Kai to help the others. Cool. ありがとうございました。お疲れ様でした。また気をつけてください。ウイルスをつないでください。じゃあね。Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, one quick last question.
Yeah, sure.
What's the difference between sawaru and fureru?
So sawaru means to contact with any part of your body, really, whereas fureru is more specifically about touching with your hands.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And I think two objects can sawaru, but but two objects can't fureru. So only humans and animals can fureru something else. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. またね。
またね。
またね。